Welcome back to the Padilla family homestead. We are outside getting ready to do our January garden tour. I'm going to record the garden tour, but this is going to be a few day long video because I'm going to show some of the processes that I'm doing because I have something going on in my garden right now that I need to combat. And so I'm going to flip the camera around. I'm going to show you I'm learning, I'm growing as a gardener, and so this is my first time really having to battle this. So if you have suggestions, leave them for me in the comments. I'd appreciate it. I'm going to try to salvage what I have out here and then go from there when it comes to the spring garden. We'll see what happens. So I'm going to flip the camera around to show you what's going on. So if you're new, I'm in Zone 9B in Northern California. I live in an apartment and I grow in 3 GreenStalk towers. I have these 2 towers and then we have this one over here. And I have ashes from the fireplace I got to deal with. So you can kind of see an image of what's going on. So I don't have a lot of room on where I can put these planters. So these are kind of tighter. And what I'm dealing with is, this looks like powdery mildew to me. This one looks like downy mildew to me. So I'm not quite sure what is what. Some of the treatments are the same, some of the treatments are different. What I am learning is me doing this is not good. And some of this yellowing leaves actually is the first sign to powdery mildew that it is struggling. So as I'm cutting these off and dropping them, then the wind is spreading this to all the other plants because it's spread by wind. So I'm going to come in here, I'm going to pull back and show you kind of what we have growing and what's being affected by it, and then go through and decide how I'm going to deal with it. So this GreenStalk has Brussels sprouts on the top. They're just starting to show signs of being affected by this, so I really want to nip it in the butt. I'm having little tiny Brussels sprout buds pop up, so I really want to deal with this. We've had rain the last little bit, so I haven't been able to get out here as much, but I got some pink celery. This actually is probably going to get picked this week because it's going to frost. So a few things are going to come out right now. So that's kind of what's going on here. I've got Brussels sprouts on the top. I love this gorgeous purple. And then 1 celery, and I have 1 radish left in there. Everything from here on down is staggered between peas, which have this mildew stuff it looks like, and nasturtiums, which are not flowering right now, but boy, oh boy, are they producing greens. They are beautiful. So I'm going to spin this so you can kind of see it, but these nasturtiums definitely poof out. So I try to allow it to have this gap in between the planters, and you can see more of the damage in here. But that's this planter. It's all nasturtium, peas, Brussels sprouts, and a couple of radishes, or 1 radish. Okay, so this planter is the one where I've been noticing most of the disease. And this has my kale on the top, which has been doing really good. You can see it's still wet from the rain. It holds the rain up here. So I have all the different kales growing and they're doing great. I have been harvesting them. And then this row is collards and a mysterious plant. And this is the one I broke off, and I think it's something broccoli. However, it is riddled with disease. Like, it's big and it's really covered with disease. So that mystery plant is just going to come out. I know that for sure. My collards are trying to hang in there. I'm starting to see small signs of this powdery mildew or downy mildew. I am starting to see a couple of bites in my plants. And I feel like that is a caterpillar right there. That little white mark is a caterpillar. And if you look at the back of this has the mildew. Those splocks, that's mildew. So I'm going to take off any of the disease-riddled plants and the bug-riddled leaves. And I'm thinking maybe what catapulted this is we had a couple days in the 60s after rain, and I'm wondering if it created too humid of an area. I'm not positive. So collards and the mystery plant. These plants are getting it the worst, and this is my cabbage, which I'm really bummed about because I really want this for cabbage rolls. So I'm going to take off the affected area on the outside of these and keep doing that. And then figure out if my treatment plan works the next couple of days, see how that works. My Swiss chard, I think, is still doing good. Looks beautiful. And my turnips are actually starting to bulb in a couple of places. Like this one is starting to bulb. It does look like this has bugs all over it. So I might just rip it out because I don't want to. Everything's kind of being diseased right now, and the diseased plants make yummy snacks for bugs. So I don't want disease in here, because then I'm going to have a bunch of pests over winter, and this is my non-pest season. So that's what's going on in these two planters. This one is tatsoi and bok choy lettuce. Lots of lettuces in here, and my lettuce is starting to show signs as well. So I'm going to thin this out and treat this and see what happens. Otherwise I may just start over on my lettuce, which is a bummer, but it is what it is. My mustard, I was about to come out here and harvest it and dehydrate it because we haven't been eating it. And I'm starting to notice stuff on the mustard as well. So I think I'm going to thin that and treat it and not try to dehydrate it right now. And the cilantro we've pretty much eaten. We keep harvesting and eating. And the radishes down here never did anything. I'm going to come around the pole to this side. This side does not appear to have... Let me see if I'm going to speak too soon. I'm not seeing the same look of the powdery mildew over here. And I feel like this side has more airflow. So I'm wondering if that's part of the problem, is because we're in this corner right here, that the other side of this is not getting the air that it needs. I don't know. I would love to know if you guys have feedback on this, because I am definitely learning. These guys are doing great though. I cut out the babies the other day and added them into our soup. It was super yummy. Not a phrase you usually say, but it works. Alright, so I'm going to set you guys up on a tripod tonight. I'm going to cut leaves, get some airflow in here, pull out yuck, and then tomorrow I am going to try some of the treatment plans. So now I'm going to go ahead and go through and cut everything off. I am putting everything I am trimming at this point into the trash bag so I can bring it straight to the trash. I don't want it out anywhere. I'm just removing all of the peas. I maybe got 2 peas off of those plants, which is a bummer. But they got hit bad by whiteflies, and then they've been showing signs of the mildew. So the nasturtiums looked pretty good. There were some pieces that were yellowing, which isn't a huge surprise. That happens on nasturtiums. And so they look pretty good though. So I just left all of those. I did decide on the other planter to just rip out the cabbages. I'm looking at every single leaf, going all the way through it and really deciding what to pull and what not to pull. And the cabbages showed signs of mildew on the stems, on the inside of them, and so forth. So I'm looking at everything. Same with the collards. Even the little collards had them. I did find a couple of slugs, which I have an issue with here. I was totally going to put copper tape around my planters this winter, and I forgot to do it when I reset the green stalks with new soil in the fall, and I'm kicking myself for not doing that. Okay, so a couple things I want to bring up. If you are dealing with any of the mildews, you do not want to use the same scissors or touch plants that are not affected by it. You want to wash these really, really well. So I did not use the scissors to cut the Swiss chard, but all of the leaves I took off from up here, I did either pull off by hand without washing my hands, or I cut them off because this had powdery mildew or downy mildew, whichever one it is, all throughout it. Now, a couple things that I thought about when I was going through here, a couple things that are different this year. One, I was growing way more big greens together. Two, we've had a very weird season. We've had warmer days, we had really cold days, and then warm days and cold days. So I don't know if that was too much for these this close together. Another situation is I live in apartments, and our gutters are way up there, and they recently cleaned our gutters. Now, I did try to pop a sheet out here, which is why there's a stick right there, and cover a part of this, but down here where the cabbage wasn't fully covered, and all of that nasty stuff was all over the floor, all over the place, and then they leaf blew it. And I'm seeing a whole lot of disease looking leaves and things, some of them sludgy looking, inside of the plant. Some of them were like stuck back inside the actual greenery. And so I don't know if that's one of the reasons why I got it worse this year. I don't know for sure. So I am calling it quits with thinning out these two planters. I took out all the peas. I went ahead and I took out all the cabbage because it was pretty much infected all the way through. And I took out the collards and the mysterious plants. Our days are going to start getting longer here. I have no problem with trying to start some of these over again inside and trying to get them out here. I would rather try to save the plants that are good right now. I'm going to try to do I'm worried about these. I'm going to try to do the preventative measures on the plants and the leaves that don't look like they have anything on them. So I'm going to do that tomorrow. And then, in all honesty, my hands have powdery mildew or whatever mildew it is. My scissors do. My sweatshirt does. I really don't want to get over into my other planter like this. So that'll be the first thing that I clean up tomorrow after I have showered and all the things and gotten all this stuff off of me and cleaned my scissors. Then I'll go through and really look at the mustard and the lettuce and all of that and really clean that out. It'll be good through tonight, and then I'll deal with that tomorrow. So one of the things, so I'm between two, so a couple of the things that I have to decide which one I'm going to try tomorrow is the milk and water mixture, which is better at preventing versus curing. And then there's also the baking soda and dish soap and or baking soda and Castile soap and water. And I'm trying to figure out which one I want to try to do, because it needs to go on, the milk needs to go on in the sun, and I don't want to ruin the plants that I have because they're edible. So I just don't know which one I'm going to do. So I'm going to really think on that tonight, do some research. Tomorrow I will be applying one of them and trying that, and then maybe I'll apply a different one in a week or something. But I want to kind of see if it stops it from coming back. The other thing is, we are about to hit a frost probably this week. We have 32 degrees on our forecast. I'm not sure in our microclimate if it's gonna hit or not for sure. Our little tiny one, sometimes other people get frost and we don't. So I just want to be, if it's downy mildew with the rain coming in and frost, that may get worse. But with powdery mildew, that may stop it from taking off. I don't know. So I'm learning. So this is January's garden tour, is the reality of what I am dealing with in January here, and trying to decide how I want to battle it, because I don't want to lose everything. So if I have to pull stuff out like I did over here, I'd rather do that and lose some things than to not be able to enjoy anything. And I also have to figure out, so I'm in the last 2 years, I just recently became allergic to penicillin, and my daughter has higher mold things, so we can't really eat the things that have the mold on it, even though it's not supposed to be super harmful. It's not super pleasant either. So I am trying to figure all of that out. So if you have feedback, leave them in the comments, and on the next clip we'll find out what I decided to do tomorrow. Welcome back. So I thought about it last night, and I decided to go the baking soda route. I really don't have a good reason why I chose that over the milk, but it's what I chose. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix this mixture up and then let it sit and dissolve before I trim this other planter, and then I'll come back and load up a spray bottle and start hand spraying. So basically what you need is 1 gallon of water, 1 tablespoon of baking soda, and then a 1/2 teaspoon of Castile soap, and I have the unscented. Now I just know that I'm gonna wash my produce anyway. Sometimes I'll eat produce off of the plants without washing them, but right now with all the mildew stuff anyway, that wouldn't be the case. So I'd rather do the one that seems to have the most success. I don't know. I don't like the idea of milk sitting out here. I don't know what that's gonna smell like. I guess that's why I went with that. Being the fact that I'm in an apartment, I really want to make sure it doesn't stink or leave weird residue or things like that. So I'm going to get this all stirred up, then I'll let it sit. I have a bag and a different pair of scissors for the lettuces and mustard. I'll get this planter taken care of, and then we'll come and spray everything and cross our fingers that it's good. Now this is a 32-ounce bottle. This is a gallon, so I don't think I will be using a gallon's worth on this today. So I will just be saving this in some jars. This is the breakdown, and I didn't want to try to do the math and break down a tablespoon 4 ways and all of that. So I decided to go ahead and just make the whole batch, and then I will store this in my fridge and reapply it next week. So probably actually when you're seeing this, I will be reapplying it. Cross my fingers that this is more prevention for it to stop it from spreading to anything else, since I'm trying to get out the really infected stuff already. Okay, so I'm gonna flip the camera around, let this sit, and start trimming the lettuce. So I want to bring you in and kind of show you what I'm seeing. So on the front side, I wasn't seeing a whole lot of powdery mildew, but back here on all these back leaves, I'm seeing quite a bit of powdery mildew popping through here. And when I looked down at the base of the plants, I'm also seeing it. That tells me I am pulling this pockets of lettuce and all these dead leaves from down here, and I will assess each one. Now this one was thickly sown. I haven't had this issue before, so it's really weird. That one's not as thickly sown, so we'll see what it looks like when I get over to it. But that is how I'm assessing what needs to come out and what doesn't. I am so sad to say that after going through all of my lettuces, pretty much everything had to come out. On the back side by the wall right there, and there was some red lettuce, and that actually had a different type of mold all throughout, and I really think some of the gutter stuff got in there really bad. But I was super sad. Along with my favorite mustard greens, everything pretty much went. And that was on this back side. Again, though, I'd rather take it out now and restart seeds. The days are getting longer and there's going to be more sun. Lettuce will grow back really fast, and so will mustard. Thankfully, none of my tatsoi or bok choy was affected. And that's it. I just went ahead. This is the only type of this mustard plant I'm keeping. Most of the red mustard, the giant red leaf mustard, look good. All the other ones of this had it pretty bad. Most of the lettuces had it really bad. For some reason, these don't appear to. But these were also single heads that I planted, not the cut and come again. And then our tatsoi and bok choy is fine. I pulled out the cilantro because it's pretty much done anyway. We harvested pretty deep. So that's just going to be done. I'm going to replant once I get this all under control. And I don't know what I'm doing with those radishes yet. I think I'm going to pull them. And then I'll spray and call it good for the day. So I went ahead and filled my spray bottle and started spraying these. I did decide, though, as I started to spray them, that I wanted to make sure that the plants didn't die from it, so I chose a few of each type to spray. Now, it does say that you need to spray the bottom of the leaves, not just the top. You need to spray everything. So what I'm doing, especially with the kale and the Brussels sprouts, where it's kind of harder to twist the spray bottle underneath, I'm taking my hand and I'm holding it underneath the leaf, spraying the top of it and really just soaking that all over the bottom of it. It splashes back up. This actually wasn't that hard to coat the bottom of every leaf with it. I tried some lettuce and some mustard as well. And this did work just fine. The plants were totally fine the next day, and went ahead and reapplied everything. I'm also cleaning up any dead leaves I had left on the ground. Okay, so that's it for January. I only sprayed a few of these, which I'm sure I told you in the voiceover, but I'm not going to bring you back tomorrow for when I check these, unless everything's dead, then I'll come back and tell you. But I sprayed a couple of kind of every variety of plant down with the mixture, and I'll come out tomorrow, make sure it's not all dead. If it's all alive and doing good, then I will come out and spray the rest of it with this mixture. And I'm also spraying down like the actual GreenStalk in the top of the soil for these other areas. So we'll see. Cross your fingers. Again, if you have any tried and true solutions for our area, Northern California, Zone 9B, I would love to hear it in the comments. And as always, it is learning how to garden. We're growing as gardeners. I don't think we master this at any point in time, and there's always a new bug, a new disease, a new something that we're going to battle. So don't get discouraged. Keep growing. My lettuces will be quick to grow back. Same with my mustard. I am not discouraged by any means, and I am ready to tackle this. So we'll see you on the next video.